person. But it changes, and presumably in many cases, and it used to be in my own case, the relationship gradually develops into a friendship, hopefully a romantic friendship, and you still love each other and so on. But I mean, I was married for probably 28, 30 years. I mean, I got married pretty young, which was the way it was done years ago. And in the event, I thought we were doing okay, and my wife happened to meet someone else, which was totally out of character, I have to say. I would never have believed that in a million years, nor would our kids. I mean, she'd separated herself from the whole family, and has done ever since. So, and that was 10 years ago now. So that was the way that was. But I think for me, it brings into question. I mean, I think I believe in marriage and the idea of marriage, but I think there's a debate to be had about is it right that people get married and expect, or should they expect, to be with that one person to answer all of their needs and for them to answer their others' needs in a lifetime? If it works, that's great. But I think statistically, nearly half of marriages end in divorce, which is a bit of an alarming statistic. But is it the right way forward? Is it the right way for relationships to develop? I don't know. Yeah.
Well, you know, while you said what you said just now, at a lot of the things that you said, I just thought about an upgrade. You know, I was thinking in my head, I'm thinking, so, you know, you get a mobile phone, and then, same thing with your computer, isn't it? And then when it starts lagging, you think, well, you know what?
That's getting slow. You won.
Maybe it's time for an upgrade. Maybe it's time for an upgrade, you know.
Yes.
It happens both ways, doesn't it? Men want an upgrade sometimes, and so do women.
Yeah.
I mean,
these things you just mentioned now, right? What you just said about this upgrade and maybe a system is lagging or slow, right? Yeah. It reminds me of my grandma. My grandma, as in like, she was drop dead gorgeous. And I'm not saying this because she's my grandma, right? If I had a picture nearby, I probably would have put it up so you see, right?
Yeah.
We're okay, aren't we, on ours?
Yeah, we are, aren't we? Yeah.
You can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you, yeah. So how's your holiday? How did it
Excuse me. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
You seem.
In fact, I was going to talk about, we might say, the post-holiday blues. You know, of having had 2 good holidays in a month or so, there is an element of post-holiday blues. But you know, life goes on, but I was going to link that with the story I read yesterday about a woman in the Netherlands who she has been euthanized, I believe, under their laws. Yeah. But it's a very interesting story, which, as I say, we can keep it for another time, perhaps, if Phantom comes back. I know she is. Back now.
Yeah, no, sorry, you frozen out.
Oh, it was me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I thought it was our 40 minutes was over, and I was like, let me try to log in again. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's fine. It's fine, yeah. So carry on, please.
So, as I was saying, my grandma, the first husband,
yeah.
She's back.
Yeah, she's back.
Welcome back, Phantom.
Can you hear us?
Thank you, I can hear you.
I think it's better now. Yeah, sorry, it's better now.
This seems better.
Sorry, my network went off. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We're glad to have you anyway.
Well, you were saying about your grandmother. Yeah,
so at the end of the day, she sat she ended up with my grandpa's place, right? So when she used to tell us stories, why? Because we're like, how did you end up marrying 4 different men? Why? Like, why were you not comfortable? And all these men I'm talking about, they are very handsome. All my dad's siblings are they're tall, they are beautiful, they are handsome. Men cannot be beautiful, right? But then actually these ones are actually very beautiful. So it's not a case of like, oh, she was married to an ugly man and she was like, no, this one could not take care of her again, and she needed to keep up with her skin and look good, and she does not like stress. So that was the company, as it packed up and there was no money again, she had to move on because some other man was asking her out and wanting to take care of her and pamper her. I'm like, wow. So people just wake up and it reminded me of the stories in the Bible of some wonderful persons we had, like people like Solomon, people like David that just marry as you go, pick, you get here, you carry this one. It's not like David didn't have someone at home before he fell in love with Bathsheba, So I just think we as humans, I would not say we're polygamous in nature, so that some people do not take advantage of being unfaithful, right? But I think if God really allowed humans to be like, hey, go out there, marry as much as you want, I swear down here, Trevor, I'm very sure that a lot of people will be married to like 10 spouses and having 5 partners because someone would buy me diamond, another might be good in bed, another might know where tickles me most, another might enjoy traveling. Maybe Trevor enjoys traveling, I'll marry Trevor because Trevor enjoys traveling. Let me marry Emmy because Emmy is caring, good, Emmy is generous, let me marry Emmy because of that. And no, I want to marry Jay-Z because it's famous, I'll be famous as well. So it's like picking everyone. I just think it's just the human insatiable wants, because it's not need, so to say. So that's what I just feel though.
Yeah, it's
that's some humans like that.
It's a great analogy actually, because you think about, I've heard people joke about, people that I respect, I've heard them joke about their wives. They'd say, well, I think I'm due an upgrade now, and the wife stood there and she laughs about it, and we all laugh about it, and I'm thinking, dear, only if that was possible.
You can only say that if you were in a good relationship, if you said it in front of your partner.
Yeah.
I think, it's all sorts of questions, as I was saying, that is it reasonable to expect or to hope that one person will be enough to answer all of your needs? For example, there was a very good series on Netflix, I don't know whether you watched Netflix, a couple of months ago, and it was, I can't remember what it was called. In fact, I can. It was called Sex Life, and it was like a gap between the two words. And it was a woman who got married, a very attractive woman, married a handsome man. They had 2 lovely little kids, and initially it was the story of marriage and being successful. He was a very successful lawyer, I think, making lots of money, a lovely house in America, in New York State. Anyway, the way the story develops, increasingly, much as she loved her children and was a good mother, she knew something was missing from her life, that she didn't have any sense of independence. She liked going out with her girlfriends, which once in a while she did. But the basis of the film was, she said she was getting bored with having sex with just her husband. Now, that's not to say she was unusual, because I think everybody and anybody can have that feeling. The physical side of any relationship almost inevitably deteriorates, if that's the word, perhaps becomes less frequent over many years. And so you can understand people nowadays in societies around the world where, in a way, we all expect everything straight away, or for our needs to be met straight away, perhaps. And anyway, it was a very good film, and eventually she did leave the husband, and she met some other bloke who answered those physical needs, and he was trying to adapt to the other sort of the more practical side of being a partner, which didn't really come off. But the strange thing was, it was a very good series, but the strange thing was, in real life, this woman, the female star of this program, actually left her own marriage during the filming of all this, and she went with this guy she met in the program. It was like an overlap of reality.
Wow.
It was incredible.
Wow.
And in fact, the last thing I saw, probably a month ago, there was a newspaper photograph of this actress with her new partner, who was the actor in the film she went off with, and they were at a baseball game in New York or something. So it was really reality overlapping with a story. But I think it said an awful lot.
It's like literally, she was acting out her life, so to say.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Very possible.
But it seemed to touch on a lot of reality that, no one knows what goes on in other people's relationships, nor should they. I mean, that's the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my own view is that relationships can be excellent, but you have to. It sounds negative, but you have to work at it. Perhaps you have a regular date night. You have to make it. The biggest thing for me. Yeah, the biggest thing for me is to have a lot of laughter in a relationship. You've got to find the same things funny. If you don't, I think you're heading for problems. If one thinks something is funny and someone else doesn't. But yeah, I think laughter is one of the big important attributes for a good relationship.
Having said that, do you think comedians then have longer relationships?
Not at all, no.
Yeah,
I saw you going there.
Yeah,
because it's different. It's different. Well, just telling jokes is not really what I mean. I think it's finding situations funny more than anything else. But let's face it, comedians are supposed to be funny on the surface, but quite sad people underneath that who suffer depression and things like that. So
a lot of them suffer depression.
Yeah, quite a lot of them do. Yeah, that's
they do.
True. Yeah. That's very true. Yeah, I was just thinking, well, because usually women get, well, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you're here, Phantom, but usually women, I find, in my opinion, that women are drawn to people that have a good sense of humor. Is that true, Phantom?
Well, non-Nigerian women might be.
Okay.
Non-Nigerian women might be attracted to that.
Right.
Attracted to someone who has nice sense of humor and all of that. Yeah. A typical Nigerian woman, dear Emmy, they're attracted to what your pocket is holding. Right, and how generous you can be with it.
Right.
Not how good you make them laugh. Hello. No. If you are good in bed and your pocket is generous, sweetheart, even if you don't make them laugh, even if you pinch their nose and you are not good looking, my dear, they will take you in. They will pamper your feet to the very what they call these hair.
Very last strand of your hair.
The very last strand of your hair.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's noted, Trevor.
No, I think that apparently, again, something I read very recently is that it said most women, as part of their biology or their programming, are attracted towards wealthy men. Now that makes sense, because a woman biologically seeks security for her children that she's going to have. So if someone can provide for her, well and good, and she'll be attracted to that sort of person. So yes, I think women, it's very fair to say, would like to marry a very rich man.
Yeah.
Of course.
Because nowadays you see men or boys. I mean, let's just say boys. Nowadays you see boys and they're at the gym and they're trying to get what they call a six pack, don't they?
Yeah.
And that's supposed to
Yeah.
impress, the girls.
Sorry, sweetheart, that doesn't impress.
All that exercise you've been wasting.
It was a joke. I'll say this joke when we come back. It's a joke, and he's doing all these push-ups and all these things at the gym, and there was a pretty lady that was stood there just doing steps on a treadmill. Anyway, so the girl wasn't paying him any attention. So he went to this elderly guy and he said, "Can you tell me how I can impress